Good evening. How are you doing? Assalamualaikum. Who's this? So we have a new story today. It's your favorite, my favorite. Can you guess? What do you think it is? Hmm. You sure? Let's see. What does that look like? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about this? You see it? Yes. The Lorax. One of our favorite little stories together. Okay. It's the front pages. Who are those characters? Yes. Don't worry, I'll show you the pages. It all starts on the street of the lifted Lorax. At the far end of town, where the brickled grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. Pretty dead. And deep in the grickled grass, some people say if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax? And why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town where the grickled grass grows, the old onceler still lives here. Ask him, he knows. That's where there's the onceler's house and where the Lorax once stood. You won't see the onceler. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkin on the top of his store. He lurks in his lurkin, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of muffed muff. And on some special dank midnights in August, which is just around the corner, he peeks out the shutters and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you perhaps if you're willing to pay. Oh, do you see the Onceler peeking? On the end of a rope, he lets down a pail, excuse me, and you'll have to toss in 50 cents and a nail and the shell of a great 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 grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most grateful count, and see if you paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snug, his secret strange hole, in his groveless glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper my phone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears alone. Slip, down the slips that whisper my phone to your ear, and the old onceler's whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a snurgling hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. Way back when, in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the sunny swans rang out in space, one morning I came to this glorious place. And I saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. Here's the one slur. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloot suits as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the repulpulous pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those truffula trees. All my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I'd unload my cart. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill, and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft, and I kneaded a feed. I say, thneed. Little tongue twister. The instant I'd finished, I heard a gazump. I looked. I saw something pop out the stump. At the tree I chopped down, it was some sort of man. Described him, that's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish, and oldish, and brownish, and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. The Lorax. Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, I'm the Lorax. I speak for the... What does he speak for? Yes, the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues. And I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed, What's that thing you made out of my truffula tuft? Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for harm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a need. A needs a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat, but it has other uses, yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covering bicycle seats. The Lorax said, "Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who would buy that fool Fneed." But the very next minute I proved he was wrong, for just at that minute a chap came along, and he thought that Sneed I had knitted was great, and he happily bought it for 30.98, 3.98, excuse me. I laughed at the Lord. "You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy." "I repeat," cried the Lorax, "I speak for the trees." "I'm busy," I told him. "Shut up, if you please." I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone. I picked it up in a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts and I said, "Listen here. Here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road north, Mitch. Turn left at Weehawken, sharp right on South Stitch." Bring, bring. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thnees, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffula trees. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping down one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffula trees at one smacker. We were making thnees 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. Chop, 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 chop. But the next week he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, "I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots who played in the shade in their barbella suits and happily lived eating truffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula fruit to go around. And my poor barbaloots are all getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies." Now that was funny. I don't remember that from the cartoon. Oh. "They love living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys," he cried, and sent them away. I, the Onceler, felt sad, and I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. Goodbye, barbaloots. Bye. I meant no harm, I most truly did not. But I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, and I biggered their loads. Of the thnees I shipped out, I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more thnees, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Maybe. Then again, he came back. I was fixing some pipes when the old nuisance Lorax back with more gripes. I'm the Lorax, he coughed and whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffled. He snarled, he sniffed. Onceler, he cried with a querulous croak. Onceler, you're making such smogulous smoke. My poor swarmy swans, why they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in his throat. And also said the Lorax, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Wherever they go, I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you smogged up around here. What's more, snapped the Lorax, he dandled was up. Let me say a few words about gluppity glup. Your machines clug on day and night without stop, making gluppity glup. Also schluckily schlup. And what to do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old onceler, you. You're glupping the pond with your humming, where the humming fish hummed. No one can then hum, for their gills are all gummed, so I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smurry. Go. Bye bye, fishies. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at that Lorax. Now you listen here, Dad. All you do is yap yap and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir. And I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I am doing. And for your information, you, Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more truffle trees into thneeds, which everyone needs. Everyone needs. And at that very moment we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffle tree of them all. No more trees, no more thneeds, no more work to be done. So in no time my uncles and aunts and everyone all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smog, smothered stars. Now all that was left neath the bad smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. The Lorax said nothing. I just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad, sad backwards glance. And he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he heisted himself, and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with the one word, unless. Whatever that means, or I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago. But each day since that day, I sat here and wondered through the years while my building have fallen apart. I wondered about it with all of my heart. Unless. But now, said the onceler, now that you're here, and the word of the Lord seems perfectly clear, unless someone like you, yes, you, cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So catch, calls the onceler. He let something fall. It's a truffle of seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last truffle of seeds. And the truffle of trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffle, treat it with care, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all his friends will come back. Catch it. And that, my little child, is all that he wrote. I think you know how the end of this story goes. Good night. Love you. Sweet dreams. And take care of your things. Assalamu alaikum.